Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something really small, but often a source of massive frustration for RC builders.
Ah, yes, the Tamiya earring, that tiny little C-shaped clip.
Exactly. It's like essential for holding things together, but wow, can it be annoying? People call it a tiny tyrant, apparently.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's funny how something so small, engineering-wise, it's crucial, right? But building with it, that's another story. Launching parts, scratches.
Exasperated sighs, the sources say. I can definitely relate to that from other fiddly hobbies.
Oh, yeah.
So our mission today, figure out why it's such a pain, look at the old ways of dealing with it, and check out Tamiya's own solution, this special tool they make.
The 74032 E-ring tool.
Yep.
But first, maybe just a quick bit on what the E-ring actually does.
Good idea. Lay it on us.
Okay, so it's technically an external retaining ring. Its whole job is basically to stop parts from sliding sideways axially off a shaft or pin. It creates sort of an artificial shoulder.
So in a Tamiya car, we're talking about things like suspension hinge pins, shock parts.
Exactly. Hinge pins, shock pistons inside the shock absorbers, gears on shafts, steering linkage parts. Lots of critical spots. Without them, things would just, well, fall apart.
And this isn't a new thing Tamiya introduced recently, is it?
Oh, not at all. This specific 2mm earring, it's been in Tamiya kits for decades. You find it in classics like the Frog, the Avante.
Wow, proper vintage stuff.
Right up to modern chassis, your TT02s, the newer BBX buggy. It's this constant design element, which means it's a shared headache across generations of builders.
Which brings us to the nickname Jesus clips.
Yeah, that one. It comes from that moment. You know, you're trying to install it, maybe with pliers, and ping, it flies off across the room.
And you're left saying, oh, Jesus, where did that go?
Precisely. It happens so often, Tamiya actually sells replacement bags of just these E-rings. Part numbers 50380, 50588. They know you're going to lose some.
Builders literally call it a pain in the ass. You can feel the stress just reading about it.
Absolutely. And a lot of that stress comes from using, let's say, less than ideal methods, the classic approach.
Which is what, pliers and a screwdriver?
Usually, yeah. Squeezing it on with needle-nose pliers and then trying to pry it off carefully with a small flathead screwdriver.
Sounds dicey.
It is. That's where the catalog of calamities comes in.
Yeah.
Losing the clip is number one, obviously. That sideways pressure just launches it.
Okay, but what else can go wrong?
Well, damage. Those hard pliers can easily scratch up the plastic parts around the clip suspension arms, gearbox casings.
Oh, yeah, especially on older, maybe more brittle vintage plastic.
Exactly. Or even more metal parts like aluminum shock bodies or those fancy coated shock shafts. Plus, you can actually bend or twist the E-ring itself with pliers or a screwdriver.
And a bent earring probably doesn't hold as well, right?
Definitely not. It compromises its grip. And that leads to bigger problems down the line, like slop in your suspension because the hinge pin isn't held tight.
Or wobbly gears.
Yes, wobbly gears are a big one. If the E-ring isn't seated right, the gear can wobble on its shaft, leading to poor mesh, extra wear. Someone even mentioned finding metallic paste in their gearbox.
Ugh, sound like grinding gears.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
All stemming from one tiny clip not being installed properly. It's kind of a cascade failure waiting to happen.
Okay, so the old ways are clearly flawed. Did Tamiya recognize this? Is there a better way? You mentioned a tool.
There is. The Tamiya 74032 E-ring tool. It's part of their craft tool line. Looks a bit like a precision screwdriver. Nice ergonomic handle.
But the tip is special.
That's the key. The tip is hardened steel, but it's machined into a very specific shape. It's like a tiny, perfect cradle designed to hold that 2mm E-ring securely.
Okay, so how does it change the installation?
It's night and day. You just place the E-ring onto the tip. It holds it perfectly flat. Then you align it with a groove on the shaft and just push straight on. A single, controlled, linear push.
No sideways pressure.
None. So no launching. It just slides on and seats firmly. Often you get this really satisfying little click, tactile and audible. One user quote was just, "I was able to install the E-ring with ease." Simple as that.
And removal.
You flip the tool around. The other side of the tip has a little hook. You engage that on the back of the E-ring and just push. It leverages the clip out of its groove, again, controlled, without bending it or sending it flying.
So compared to pliers, it sounds way better.
Oh, massively. You get control, precision. It's faster, much more efficient, almost zero risk of damaging parts or losing the clip. And the clip itself stays in perfect shape.
Works in tight spots too, I bet.
Much better than clumsy pliers, yeah. And the learning curve is basically zero. It just works.
This seems especially important for people working on older kits, right? collectors, restorers.
Hugely important.
Yeah.
Think about scratching an original suspension arm on a, say, 1987 Avante. That plastic is old, maybe brittle. That scratch is permanent damage on a valuable piece.
Right, you can't just get another one easily.
Exactly. Or imagine building a vintage frog. You want to use the original earrings if you have them. They're part of the history. This tool protects the old plastic and prevents you losing those precious original clips. It's like a really cheap insurance policy for preserving RC history.
So the verdict seems pretty clear then.
For anyone serious about building Tamiya kits, especially multiple kits or vintage ones, I'd say the 74032 tool is pretty much indispensable. It goes beyond just being convenient.
It's more like a tool for good craftsmanship, like using the right screwdriver, bit the JIS ones for Tamiya screws.
Exactly that kind of thinking. Using the right tool for the job elevates the whole process and the final result. It protects your work, your investment, your passion, really.
It makes you think, doesn't it? About other areas, maybe outside of hobbies too. Where some small, fiddly, frustrating detail, some tiny tyrant, is just waiting for the right specialized approach, the right tool, to turn it from a headache into, well, just another step, something to consider. What overlooked frustrations in your pursuits might have an elegant solution hiding in plain sight?